In this video, I'll be helping you guys understand your first C++ code, and thereafter, I'll show you guys how to print something to the screen or to the console. So I'll start off by explaining what this whole code does. This whole code, the one that you find as soon as you open it or you start a new project on C++ on CodeBlocks. Okay, this is a header file. It's called a header file. So in C++, there are many different header files that are used for different things. It'll be quite difficult for me to explain, but it's best if I first show you. So we have a header file called CMath. So this header file, it's a CMath header file. It allows you to use things like square roots and power functions. So it allows you to use certain functions that you cannot use without them. You understand? CMath file or CMath header file. It allows you to use something like the power function and the square root. Okay, let me just show you. Let me just change this and put CMath so that you can see what I'm talking about. CMath. So this is a header file. So with this header file, okay, with this header file, you can use like square root. You can use square root function. This is a function that you can use only when you have this header file included, because square root is a math function. So you have to include this CMath in order for you to use the square root. You get it? So if I run this code now, it won't give me any error. It will just see out this hello world to the screen, showing that it did not give me an error for using this square root. But if you see, okay, it'll just pop up just now. See, it's printing hello world. It means that it didn't see any fault or error in my code. But if I comment out this, CMath, it'll say that it does not know what square root is, or square root was not declared in our scope. It means that it does not have access to the square root function because I did not use or include the CMath header file. So this, okay, now that you understand that, let me just remove this. So this is a header file that allows us to use cout, which is for printing out to the console or to the screen, if you get what I'm saying. So this IOStream, this header file, it allows us to use cout, and later you'll see that it also allows us to use cin, which will be taking in a value from the user. Okay, using namespace std. So this std stands for standard library. Okay, so what this line does, it doesn't do anything basically, but then it just says that we're using C++ under standard conditions, you understand? So it's not a big deal, but it has to be here whenever you're starting your first code. Like, I don't think there's any time where you're going to write a code without this, of which there's another way that you can use this instead of writing it here on top, but this is the easiest way. And as a beginner, I really suggest that you use this way. But there's another way of doing it, whereby whenever you want to see out something or you want to see in something, see in, you'll see it later at a later stage. But you have to do it like this, std, and then you put these columns here, and then you use cout. This will also work. Wait, it didn't work. std, and then I put these. Okay, wait, I think I did something here. Let me see. And line was not declared. Okay, let me just remove this end line here. Right, what's going on now? There we go. So yeah, so that thing is mainly for if you don't want to write the using namespace std at the top here, So every time, whenever you want to see out something or you want to see in something, you have to include the STD here before the see out. That's what you have to do all the time. So I'm guessing, let's say maybe you want to see out many things at the same time, not just one line that says hello world, but you want to see out, you want to print paragraphs on the console. So you can't be doing this to every see out, every see out, every see out. So you have to just include, okay, what I'm talking about is this. Maybe let's just copy this and paste it down below here, Control V. Let's say you want to print out hello world. And then down below here, you want to print out hello mom, you get it. So you have to include this STD all the time whenever you want to use see out, of which that might be time consuming. That might be time consuming. So I just prefer that you just write the using namespace STD to avoid using this a multiple, to avoid printing that, writing this a multiple times. So it's using namespace STD. Okay, cool. And then this is int main. With this being our int main, this is a function. Okay, let me also just remove this. But you can see, let me just show you before I remove this, that now that I've wrote this above here, I don't have to include the STD here and here. Let me just run this code. You see hello world and hello mom. So it printed out all of it without me writing the STD here and the STD here. So that's what this line does. Okay, coming to this line now. This works as one thing. This is called a function. So you'll see later as we move on into functions that whenever you want to declare a function, you have to start with its return type and then the function name, and then put this brackets here. And then in between the curly braces or the curly brackets, this is where you put what your function does, the body of your function. Okay, so what this function does, its return type is an integer. That's why we have this int here. It shows that the return type of this whole function is an integer. Its return type, and then this is the name of the function, which is our main. This is our main function. And then these are the normal brackets that we use. They always have to be here whenever you making a function. And then this, as I said, that this is the body of our function. This says this whole thing, it tells us what the function does. It doesn't tell us what the function does, but then it is what the function does. This whole thing is what the function does. So what this function does, it sees out hello world to the screen. And then after that, it returns a 0. So that's just simple. So whenever you want to code, in most cases for now, since you're still a beginner, you have to always have your main function, and whatever you want the program that you're writing to do, you have to do it inside the main function for now. And then, yeah, that's just basically it. So since I said that the return type of this function is an integer, I hope you know what, guys, integers are. Integers are just counting numbers from 0 until infinity, 0, 1, you get it, not decimals. So what this return 0 does, okay, we said that this line, it prints out hello world to the console or to the screen. So what this return 0 does, we said that the return type of this whole function is an integer. So with that being said, the return type, this is where we're returning 0 to the function. And what this returns 0, it does nothing basically, but then it returns a 0 as to tell us that whatever that we were doing above here is done. You know, if we get an error here, we will not be returning this 0. Our function or our program will not be returning the 0. So this, we put this at the end of our int main function, so that it can tell us whatever that we're doing above here, it ran successfully or it built successfully. And so as soon as we get to the stage, we know that, okay, our function worked the way it was supposed to, and therefore we are at the stage whereby our function returns a 0. You know, this is more like a confirmation. It's okay, fine. Whatever that you were doing before me, it happened fine, and therefore I am returning a 0. But you'll learn more about this at a later stage, returning when we get deeper into functions. But just for now, you just have to, whatever that you write it above here. Whatever that you write it here above. This return 0 is always supposed to be at the bottom of your int main function. Okay, now we want to print out something to the console or to the screen. That is simple. This code has already showed us how to do that, and it's only writing cout and then also including these elbow brackets. So cout describes the output, and then this is just an operator that goes with the cout. This is an operator that goes with the cout. Whenever you use cout, you have to follow with these elbow brackets to show that you are seeing out something. This is out, and then this is in. This direction is this direction is out, and then the elbow brackets pointing towards to your right as you're watching the screen now. That's in. Okay, cool. Let me just put this here. So your program will not run if these are not after, if these two elbow brackets are not after the cout. Okay, I removed something here, and of which I would have spoke something about it, but then it's end line. So this end line, what it basically does, it avoids us, it prints this hello world in the same line, you understand? And then it ends line. It means that whatever that if I want to print out something here below, it will not print out hello world. You see, when I ran the code, I said hello world and then hello mom, the first code that I ran, it printed all that in the same line because this end line was not included. But now, since the end line is here, if I want to print out something else, let me just copy this and then paste it here so that you can see what I'm talking about. I'm printing out hello mom again here below. So these two things will be printed out in two different lines because I wrote this and then I ended the line. It means that I'm moving to the line below now. But if this is not here, it'll just print this out and then print this, whatever that's below in the same line. Let me run this and show you guys. Let me run this. It's taking time. My PC is slow. Okay, as you can see now that the hello world is here in the line above, and then hello mom is in the line below. These are two different separate lines. This is the first line, and then this is the second line. Okay, let me remove this. Okay. So if I remove this end line here that is above, as I said that this end line, it was ending the line immediately after hello world. But now that I've removed the end line that is here, it will print everything in the same line. Watch this. Hello world and hello mom. It's in the same line. It's in the same line. I did not end the line after writing my hello world. So that's what the end line that's at the end here does basically. Yeah, so that's basically it. So whenever you want to print out something to the screen, you write cout, put the elbow brackets, write whatever that you want to print out. But remember, it has to be within these quotation marks, these two quotation marks that are here. For now, that is all that you need to know when printing out something onto the screen. As much as you can print out many things within the same line, okay, you can also do this. Let me show you. You can put the elbow brackets here. You can put the elbow brackets here and then write something else. Hello, mom. This will also do the same thing. It will also write this, but within the same line, since there's no end line after this hello world. Let's run this and see what it does. Hello, mom, and hello, world. You can also print it in the same line, or you can just say cout, write the same thing, and then end line. It's all up to you, but that's just another way of doing it. That's it for this video. Thank you. And please like if this video was useful to you and subscribe. Thank you.